for when I edit this, okay?
Hello and welcome back to 100% or Nothing podcast. This is, and we counted, episode 27 because things went a bit wayward and we thought as we're going all professional now that we'd count them, and that is how many there might be. So now it's definitely that. Today we have the only man that can make me look like an actual small child, and he did that only recently as he came and viewed me and mocked all of my lifts. He didn't actually. We have the behemoth Josh, bigger than Dan Law, which is now his name.
Literally.
That is
That's actually on my birth certificate.
um,
Change
so
his name by Deadpool.
yeah, thanks for coming on. Obviously, I've known Josh for a very long time, and he is one of my favorite people. So I'm glad to come here and have him shoot the shit. He's a he is, at least by proxy, a man of the nasty. And so
For all things bodybuilding.
and so that's why he's here. And we I thought, yeah, we'd start just with like whirlwind tour to Josh. Most people already know Josh, but why don't you just give us like a to where you are now?
Right.
Starting with why
Thank
the
you.
fuck you picked up weights in the first place to why you're
Let's not go back that far. That's way too far back.
all
Let's
right.
go
So
back to go back to when I first started competing. Back when NABA was the main show, and I actually was seeing younger Amph males dominate every NABA show possible. So I did 2011 and 2012 as a junior through NABA, and I did the West Britain, Worlds, and Universe, and just watched Amp pretty much just take everyone that I turned up to.
That must have been a long time ago then, Josh. Put it that way. Shit.
2012 was in Dublin, mate. Do you remember that?
You know what the weird thing is? Like I think it was you I was speaking to Dan about when when bodybuilders go on about like being present at contests and stuff.
Yeah.
I can't remember anybody I spoke to, anybody I like chatted to, or very few people anyway. Like I probably watched the whole show. I couldn't hardly remember anybody in the shows. Like, yeah, you are very I don't know if you guys are the same. You're not very present when you're actually on the day of the show. Are you? You just kind of, it's weird.
I think I
Um,
was more so when I was like starting. It was definitely because I was having my eyes opened. I mean, I still remember the first time I saw Anth. I have his forearm veins like literally printed into my brain. Like, but maybe when you're not actually kind of as much in it to win it, you're just kind of
yeah,
like testing it out, as it were.
It's definitely like you said, they make certain things get stuck in your head, and the reason why I remember Amp in Dublin. So we competed, and this everyone stays in the same hotel, and I was 19 at the
do
time,
you know what,
junior.
Josh? Sorry to
Junior.
interrupt. I do actually. Were you with This is a totally different time. Were you with Josh Molly? Yeah, or am I totally
No,
thinking
I
of a
wouldn't. No,
totally different time? Totally
no, I
different
went
time
with
then.
Josh Milley then. Nah,
What a know.
I
Sorry.
later on hooked up with Josh, but Josh was an old Nabba boy, obviously originally as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we do the comp, and the next morning, being 19, then like that was only my second year competing. I was like breakfast, all inclusive, hash browns. It's like you're just eating because it's done now, and it's next day. So I'm loading up my plate, and I look over, see the forearms down, amps at the fruit bar, just getting a little bit of granola, just getting some fruit, and I'm thinking, why aren't you getting the full English? Okay, go over. Were you pre-diabetic or any sort of diabetic at that point, Anthony?
Yeah, I was diagnosed diabetic in 2007. So I was probably
Yeah.
actually at the Worlds. I had without being graphic here, I had a severe case of the runs as well. So that was probably why I was being tamed. Because to be fair, and again, I'm being totally transparent here because we had this discussion last week with a guy in Durham about everybody says they reverse diet and all this stuff. And yeah, when I finished the show, I had 50 grams of rice. It's very rare anybody does that. It's fucking smoke and mirrors, isn't it? You go all in the next day, don't you? At least for a couple of days. And even as a
More
diabetic,
so,
I was naughty boy, and eat some shit, whatever. But no, that weekend I was pretty unwell. Unfortunately, I had a severe case of the runs. Literally up until pre-judging, they kind of held off. And as
Super
soon
dry though.
as five, I was actually a little bit watery because of it, to be fair, but I still pulled it off. But literally, as soon as the show was done, they were back. So I definitely believe somebody upstairs was kind of looking out for me that day, because there's no way I was doing like the most muscular arms and thigh with that scenario, because there would have been a little bit of a accident on stage. So see that.
Yeah, that was one of my earliest memories, was seeing Amp still being stripped the day after. Now I know why. But yeah, I 100% agree, mate. After, when, especially younger years, I would just eat like you would be. I also, you got specific memories of certain shows. I remember I did a show, must have been probably after the NABA Britain, and probably 4 or 5 days post show, and I was like 15 kilos up. I had to go and buy a pair of shoes bigger to just fit my fat feet in, and I had to wear them undone. And that was when I was
Yeah.
like, yes, I got to control this eating after the show a bit better.
I think we all go through that craziness, don't we? It's
You go for it to then know that you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, we've all done that. Now, like, yeah, I don't. I try it and then I lose weight after the show for a week.
I wouldn't want to feel that terrible. As you get older, you get a bit wiser. I wouldn't want to feel that terrible. Like, don't get me wrong, you go and enjoy a meal straight after the show, but you realise you want to get back on it pretty much the day after.
Oh, it's the fucking sugar, and like when you eat like a pizza or something. Like, has anyone eaten a pizza recently? I know I'm old, but like,
can't eat
fucking
them. Can't do it.
ate like half a pizza, and I felt like I'd done like 9 ecstasy tablets the night before. It felt fucking horrendous.
If I eat any shit like that,
Likewise,
I would
my
just
go-to.
sit in my stomach for about 3 years. It's just
Oh.
not worth the trade off. I wouldn't know what ecstasy tablets are done, so I
Oh
wouldn't
no, I
know
don't know what they are. They just tasted nice. Uh, sorry, Josh, you were telling us. So, NABA.
Yes, I did. I started NABA as a junior, went all the way through to university junior, then competed with UKBFF for a couple of shows, went into PCA, and obviously then of recent years, it's been two bros. My most recent showing was 20. Now you're making me think. 23, whatever the last Ben leader was, where Reese McDonald won his pro card.
Mm.
Um, but, yeah, I've had some good showings as an amateur. Me and Dan agreed when I saw you in Bristol the other week, mate, that when we did the first UK Arnold's, that was probably one of the best shows you could do as an amateur. The stage and the setup. Dan plays heavy that show, so I won't stay on that one too long.
Oh no, I think they mixed this up. They must. I think they've called the wrong
Well,
number.
technically, we're going to have a third showing because it's one each. It's one apiece.
That is true, actually.
Oh,
We'll get
I've
out.
done you at the Graftism,
Yeah,
and then you placed ahead of me at the Arnold's.
yeah, yeah. I do. I almost didn't turn up at all. It was you who rang me and were like, "Why aren't you here?" And I was like, "What do you mean? It's like later." And you're like, "No, you need to be here now." And I was like, "Fuck." So that's what a real friend is. Rather than stealing your place, he will ring you to make sure that you're there. Yeah, the Arnold was just a great experience. We got to share the same stage as the pros. The set was cool, and backstage was just cool. It was cool. Like it was a little insight of what it looked like. There were a lot of upset people, to be fair, that didn't make the second call out. But yeah, that was probably the only show I've actually enjoyed because I'm a bit of a nervous motherfucker, and I was probably the only one was whether I had some people that I knew, and also I found like once you're kind of past that like middle bit where everyone's like a bit of a dick, like once you're like kind of past that, like and people know each other, like it was cool and it was calm, it was good, and also I had no expectations. It was good, and it was great to have Josh there as someone that I actually like. And there were some other people that I like as well, but obviously me and Josh had hung out at lockdown and stuff. You came to the Muscle Children Orphanage, and
Had some good sessions in there.
that was cool. That was good.
yeah, you can say that now because of the whole Keir Starmer thing. Now you can't get prosecuted if it's past 3 years now. So you can say whatever you want, Dan, what you're up to in the muscle orphanage.
Oh, fuck 'em, mate. What are they going to do? I'll give them
You
AIDS.
don't
Before
It's
dare.
COVID
just
was
it was just
bad.
a little shed and loads of kit in it. It was great.
Yeah, fucking wicked. Um, so yeah, so that's Josh, and you should, yeah, uh, yeah. If anyone's met me and think I'm big, then Josh turns up. I hate it if Josh comes to the gym, everyone's like, "Have you seen the guy?" And I was like, yeah, I know the guy." And he was like, "It's fucking," and I'm like, "But I want to be the massive, I want to be the massive guy in my gym." No, no, seriously, mate. You should kill yourself.
Do you not find though, like, being in this industry a long time, going to all the expos, seeing like top pros. I remember seeing Dennis Wolf, Ronnie
Oh,
Winkler.
fucking hell,
If
yeah.
someone says to you, "Oh, my mate's big," I've got an expectation of what they're
Mm.
going to look like, and then they turn up and they're like, "You're like, you're not big.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but like, yeah,
It's usually a
your
taxi.
arms are 23 inches."
Yeah, it's like a taxi driver, like, "Oh, my mate does bodybuilding." And you're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, cool. Yeah, yeah." And then shows you a photo, some physique guy weighs like 9 stone. You're like, "Oh, that's the same. Yeah, he's a bodybuilder. Yeah, cool." Obviously,
No,
you
but
don't,
you're supposed to know him. You're going to
yeah,
know him because he
yeah,
does bodybuilding.
of course you're going to get that. Yeah, yeah. Like,
My mate Graham. Graham does the bodybuilding. Graham.
yeah. But you don't want to get a one
Yeah,
star, you don't want to get a 1 star review. So you're like, "Oh, yeah, Graham, me and him. Yeah, tight, mate."
yeah, Graham. It works on the Walters. Yeah, Graham. Yeah.
I'm a wolf.
Sorry, I just picked the worst of what I think on the
Got
Walters.
a great physique.
Yeah, turbo nonce on the waltzers.
Okay, you've got Dan's full on to this shit, Ted. Yeah, that was in the N word, nonce.
Oh, that's all right, isn't
Oh.
it? No, it's an acronym. It's fine. Look it up.
So basically, it's one each, guys. Is the Arnold happening this year or not? Because I keep hearing it is, it isn't. I've heard a
Well,
few things behind the scenes that it is.
yeah,
Excuse me, sorry.
I had a call with Team DY. Dorian said that it's not on, so he won't be there.
Mm.
But some of the management said that it still might be. So fuck knows.
I had a
Yeah.
chat with Dave Crosland through Eval, and he seemed to think that there might be something at the end of the year. There's definitely nothing set in stone, so
Getting a
we're
bit late in the
still
day as
open on
well,
that
isn't
one.
it? Obviously, people getting ready for the contest and stuff. We're flying through the months now, so
And
they need to
the
announce
British,
something pretty soon.
the British is October. If something turns up, I reckon it's going to be around that time because then people can just jump in. People are holding a hold
Yeah.
condition for the time, so I reckon like within October, maybe early November. If something's going to
What
happen,
did
they need to put something else on.
what they need to make sure they don't do is change it like 2 days before to an evening with, or what was it? Um, was it
Or
an
the
evening with?
Schwarzenegger
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah,
yeah. When they changed it, and when Arnold
yeah,
pulled out, and then it became like an
yeah.
event with, and it had just all the names, didn't it?
Yeah, it
I mean,
was
that's
a Skype call with Boris Johnson.
Schwarzenegger, yeah.
It's Boris Johnson Skype call classic.
Terry from the Waltzers.
Yeah, let's go from the Walters again. Oh, I knew him.
No, but the thing is, if they kind of haven't booked it yet, to get a venue that they have it in a big venue, they should have had it booked by now. So I'm assuming, yeah,
I'm
it's not
pretty
going to
sure you
happen,
can't.
unfortunately.
I'm pretty sure you can't book the NEC with like,
Yeah, exactly.
you know,
2 weeks notice.
um.
Mm.
Oh, they're just doing Maidenhead. Why not? Everything else is there as well.
Well, the two bros are quite scattered around this year, to be fair to them.
Are they? Well,
Yeah, they've got
I'm.
they've got a few elsewhere. They still got a few in Maidenhead as well.
You've got to, what was the one at lockdown where it was like gymnastics were happening like behind the stage? Did you go to that one? That
I
was,
didn't see that one. I saw one that they did. Was it the one Lewis Breed? One of his pro
mm,
cards was outside.
no, that was no. Who was? I don't think that was a pro qualifier. Um, but I know the exact one. I know the exact one. I was like, oh fucking, I'll give it up, mate. It was like the fit. It was like the Gypsy Camp special, wasn't it?
Pop the tent up.
It was pretty bad. You would have thought they would have given people a discount. I think Josh has passed out. Is he frozen for you? Is that?
Mike,
Yeah, are you guys having some issues with your audio? Because Mike cutting out slightly. I don't know whether it's my earphones or
No, I'm right.
must be my earphones then.
Well,
It's just
there's
obviously I'm not at my usual joint. I'm down the gym because, like you say, I've been a bit rushed today, so we just hopped on in the office. Big
here's a
doors in the
question.
background.
Here's a question for you.
Excuse me.
So far, regardless of placings, what, I mean, obviously, like, you always want more and you always want everything, but I do like to know what was like the look that was like your favorite, like once the dust had settled, sort of thing. Do you have like a look where you thought like that was the one so far?
For me,
Mm,
probably my funnily enough, mine I won overall at the NABA West Britain.
yeah,
That or obviously I won the overall at the Graftism as well, but there's something about the West Britain again, going back to being younger, watching bodybuilding and being at my first show, you see the NABA overall won the sword. And I remember thinking as like a young teenager, fucking hell, it'd be cool to win a sword one day. And then
yeah,
that was
yeah,
still when I then ticked that goal off,
yeah.
that was quite a big
Yeah,
big
yeah,
feather in my cap sort of thing.
yeah.
So yeah, that was probably one of my favourite looks. And again, sort of favourite shows. It was a good day. There was like 5 or 6 guys from the gym who all did it, and we all had a great day. And yeah, I got the overall. Got the
Yeah,
sword.
yeah, that was my thought. They cancelled it the year I wanted to do
Excuse me,
it.
son.
Yeah, you had to go to Wales, didn't
Yeah,
you?
I had to go to Wales
Oh,
and
touchy subject, that one.
we won't get into that again. But yeah, I wanted to go because that was the first time I went there, and I did my first show thinking I knew about bodybuilding. I was like, I got fucking smashed.
I
I
must be the only bodybuilder who's not obsessed with winning a sword because I remember when I said I was having the max muscle show, then you're like, are you going to have a sword for the overall? I was like,
oh
oh, well, if you want us to get one, we'll get one. I got a sword from Dorian for winning the NABA UK and I gave it away. I'm not really too keen with trophies and stuff, but especially a sword.
well, I'm not allowed the
It's a
sword
bit
in the
random.
I'm not allowed the sword in the house. So
Where is it then, Dan?
the
I've
sword
never heard
is
this.
yeah, it's on display in the gym.
Oh, sorry, we'll let you
It
off
is
there.
on display. Just because that it is pretty sharp, like it's a proper you could
Well, that
cut.
one you got like the dagger bits on the side of that
Yeah,
one as
it's
well, isn't
pretty.
it?
So with the dogs, I was yeah, it's not. Alice was like, you
That
can't
is
have.
that is actually a live blade, Dan, sharpened by Shaolin monks
Yeah, yeah,
out in yeah, so that costs 9,000 million pounds that.
that's what.
So
To
make sure
be
you don't
fair,
miss it.
Every time someone survives the leg session with it, Dan, you should give them the old like
oh yeah, that's
knighthood,
yeah,
knighthood with it.
yeah. Just no one has. So
Everyone keeps dying.
no, no one's made it.
Actually,
Um,
there's one for you guys, because you've both done a lot of shows under your belt. I never had anything bodybuilding wise in my house. I always try to kind of leave the bodybuilding stuff in the gym. When I went home, I like to switch off from bodybuilding and stuff. So I didn't have any pictures on the wall or trophy cabinet or anything, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I have a lot of friends who have nice trophy cabinets and stuff. Do you guys have your bodybuilding memorabilia around the house, or is it all at the gym and all that kind of stuff?
no, I don't. I don't. In fact, I the gym's had a bit of a revamp, and I was going to take all of my trophies and put them there because they're just in a corner in in what's
Yeah,
Callie's room now. And I don't look at them. I look at them sometimes because everyone says, "Oh, you do all this for a plastic trophy," and obviously that's not what it is. It's memorabilia from a time, isn't it? Just like
yeah.
collecting any memorabilia, I can kind of look at one of them and remember what it took to get that. But no, I don't. I they're just in a corner somewhere. I'm a bit scared about
Yeah,
the
no, mine are at the gym. Mine are all at the gym because it's like it's where you earn them, really, isn't it? It's
yeah,
what it's
absolutely.
when you go in. That's what it's all about. It gets help. I always find it helps get that mindset properly when you're in the gym. You're there to train. All the time growing up, I would always say I'm going to go train. I'm not going to the gym. I'm going to go train. It's all little things like that I've found over time that would help me with getting in the mindset to go train properly. But no, not at home. Similar to you, out for like to chill out and try and be away from bodybuilding when I'm at home.
I was because
So
you
yeah,
did
so you haven't got any, you haven't got any of your like trunks framed on the wall or anything.
No, no, they're on my OnlyFans site, mate.
Oh, Dad, please,
Oh,
Dad.
lovely. Look at
these
that.
ones,
No,
Amp. You
I
know,
know they haven't been washed at all ever in their
never,
lifetime.
absolutely never. That's the
Smelly,
only thing
smelly
that
dream tan.
they still smell of street on. Yeah,
Have
there's
you ever had to borrow anyone else's, Dan? Is the question.
You
oh
mean
well.
steal it, Josh? Really? You mean steal any backstage?
Actually, no, Amph, you had to buy me a pair at the British, didn't you? You bought me a pair. You did. I
Ah,
can't remember why.
he's a funny story. You know, obviously you know Lee Greaves, Dan. I don't know if you know
Yeah,
Lee
yeah,
Josh. He's been competing NABA forever. This was like one of the North Britons, and just when you're about stealing stuff backstage and buying stuff and everything. So, excuse me. So Lee got his place in, and he wasn't too happy with the place. And to be fair, he did get shafted a little bit. So he went backstage, a bit pissed off. But then someone had stole his trousers, so he had no trousers to wear. Then he's like, "Oh, could you go and get me some, off one of the stands, get me some bottoms?" And then he realised his wallet was in his trousers, so he lost his shit. Started punching a few things backstage and everything. Everybody's like, "Oh, look at that guy, just because he hasn't got the right place," and he's like smashing backstage. So anyway, I've said, "Don't worry about it, chill out. I'll get you some bottoms or something." So it was obviously end of the day after the finals. None of the stands had anything left, so he had like a small pair of baggies. So I had to buy him like a small pair of baggies. They were like probably like skin tight, too short, and everything. So yeah, that was it was a bit funny when you were there, to be fair, because he was smashing the shit out of backstage. But yeah, everybody thought he was smashing up backstage because he was placing. But yeah, that was a funny story.
Who steals someone's trousers?
Yeah, I'm I'm always paranoid about my stuff backstage because I used to have like a lucky vest and like just a little like lucky charm and all that kind of stuff. I am quite superstitious like that. But
I'll have to I'm going to bring Abe next time to guard my stuff.
Sit by it.
I do remember being kicked out of backstage now because again, I think it's a silly rule at the NAB of Britain where you're not allowed anybody backstage.
Yeah.
So you haven't got anybody to do your time. So we were doing it in like the hallway or something. Where we down, we got kicked out.
Yeah, we got.
And I remember being backstage and I didn't have anybody to do my dream time. So where it used to be, I don't know if it's still in the same place. It's at Southport where you just the Jason Hotel, you just kind of walk through with a vest on and go backstage, and then I touch it up because when you use Dream Tan, and I remember one of the ladies backstage, she was like rolling me on. She's like, "Yeah, Dream Tan Formula One." I was like, "No, fuck, it's number 2, like the bronze one, not one. Like, please leave it alone." But yeah, I think you should be allowed at least one person backstage. To be fair, that would be a decent rule. I understand you can't have a whole entourage back with you, but one person at least.
Well, also, what that annoyed me about is that I had to then walk through everyone. Like, it's cool. I don't know whether this is, but I want to do like a reveal. Like when you're backstage, you've got everything on. You want to like just before you're lining up, everyone's sizing each other up. I want to do like a reveal, don't you? Like, and I had to walk through like everyone just plodded around unposed, like to walk through the thing. I did manage.
Didn't we have to tan you outside in the end?
Yeah, Tam Man Lee. That was where the video of like, "Oh, your back shit, mate. You should do some deadlifts." That's what he said to me before I went on.
Yeah, I think it took about three tubs of Dream Time just for the back.
Oh, mate.
Fuck me.
Well, yeah, that's only because I'm so fucking pale.
Don't downplay it, Dan. We know you got a big back, you want you.
I didn't like walking through the audience, through the foyer, and everyone seeing me first. I didn't like that.
I just remember being backstage at NABRA a couple of times and particularly where everyone's so focused. Like when the women's classes were there, because it used to be like it was everyone stayed the same backstage area, didn't they?
Mm.
And so when I competed as a junior, I'd won. So I'm already elated. I got my first place trophy, and the women's classes are going on after the juniors. That's how they would run it back then. But where they're so focused, they don't give a fuck either. So they're just like changing tops and like putting on tan. So I go backstage to get my stuff, and I'm like, "What's going on?" I got my trophy. I'm like, is this part of winning? Is this part of what I get now?
Yeah, just tits flying everywhere. I should remember that back in the nowadays as well. Nobody gave a shit there.
You must have a few superhero socks. Do you have some superhero socks?
I got loads. I got loads of them.
People,
don't know why I keep them either. I don't know why I don't just throw them away.
I've kept all of them. Actually, the last one was like, "Oh, can I have the Hulk?" I haven't got the Hulk.
Yeah, that's the one I need to have all 5.
Yeah, I need to complete the set. Amsterdam doesn't know what we're talking about. So when you
the cock socks. Yeah, we didn't have all that shit.
But did they hand them out back then?
No, not back in the 60s, Dan.
No, see, they hand you out. They're children's socks, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, you've just ruined it there.
These children's socks
really makes you feel good.
Yeah, no, they're not. They're not football socks at that point.
You'll have some guy there.
Yeah, some guy's just warming the tip. Everyone else, the whole turkey dinner's got room in there.
Oh God.
Yeah, but isn't even that the funniest thing? Because you're so depleted just dehydrated. You don't give a fuck backstage.
Oh,
It does not matter. They're like stripped down to tan. You're like, yeah.
yeah,
You're like, hold your arms up.
yeah,
You're just like emotionless.
yeah, yeah. And they're so sick of seeing men's butt cracks.
Yeah, they
Real,
probably
they're
are.
so sick of it. Is
I, mean,
it worth?
I did one time because when I moved over to UKBFF, that hence the Dream Tan because Dream Tan used to suit my physique really well. But when I started having to use the stain like Pore Tan and all that kind of stuff, none of it went well on me at all. And I was trying out all the different tans. But when I moved over to UKBFF, because it's banned in that federation, isn't it?
Hmm.
And so I came to the conclusion that it was Jan Tan. I can't remember which one it was. That was the one that looked the best. So what I did was I was so adamant I was going to get this tan right because I wasn't happy with it all. I thought, best of a bad bunch, we'll use this one. Myself, Crazy Dave, he did the same contest. It was in Leeds, so we actually took a tanning booth, the spray gun, and everything into the hotel room. I bought all the kit and everything, and did the tan. I thought, oh, yeah, it looks pretty good, really dark. Looked absolutely shit on stage, unfortunately. Came back to the room, and all of it, obviously no ventilation, so all of the tan had like settled over the whole like hotel room, over all the furniture, all of the TVs and everything.
Oh,
And like
God.
you see, that's the times when you wonder, like, why am I doing this fucking crazy shit? Like, it's all of those weird little extras you got to do, isn't it? But yeah, the talent unfortunately looks shit on stage as well. So
Mm. The
never mind.
best
It was
The best tan I used was, I can't remember. I messaged Dennis Wolf. It probably wasn't him replying, but he used this German stuff, and I ordered it from Germany. I can't fucking remember what it was. I'll try and remember and put it in the comments. But
called
I
Unstan. Anything
Ulster,
that's German, you just add an Unst on the end, and then it was named
Ulster. Uh,
Unstan. Unst
and then I
bodybuilder tan.
I used the whole bottle of that, then had my undercoat and my overcoat professionally, and that was at the Arnold when the only time my tan outside Dream Tan actually looked all right. But fuck me, the amount of tannage that went on was
I
yeah.
remember I had 12 quarts of green tan on. Sorry, pro tan for
Well,
UKBF for finals because I specifically remember John Hodgson messaged me and Lee Powell and said, "Anne, sort your tan out for the finals, you'll do well." I was like, "Fuck, I've got to get this tan right." And they give me some advice, like 4 quarts on, like during the day, showered off. Next time I did 3 days of 4 quarts and one. So yeah, 15 quarts totals, and it
I
still
did.
wasn't that dark, unfortunately.
Yeah, I did. I do think it's important to get as dark, really dark, and do like obviously exfoliate first, then do the tan, and then do a light shower off. Otherwise, I find it like sticks to your pores, and you get like dusty.
Just
So I
goes
think
green if you try and do too many on top of each other. It ends up just going green, unfortunately. So you've got to
so,
like shower off, and it does dull it a little bit, but it kind of resets the
that,
pH or something like that.
yeah, I'm trying to do it on top when I've done it before. It's stuck to all my pores, and I actually didn't have like acne, but it made me look like I had really bad acne when I'd done.
When you're putting that next layer on, it just gathers up, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So there's a
I
top
always
tip.
find post show is like it's all in here for like 3-4 weeks. It sits in like the crevices for
I've
fucking
I've
ages.
I found baby oil. It's the best way to go off.
All right, P Diddy.
Yeah. So ring
Yeah,
P.
that's dream time. Dream time. Baby all gets a straight off.
No, but even the other, even the
Really?
yeah, but baby oil is a start. It worked. Or maybe it's because they're both oil based. But yeah, definitely the dream tan. You could get it off in one go with that.
You also
Um,
just left feeling silky smooth.
I was so yeah, I could just do slip and slide wherever I was, just on the pavement. Um, what was the other one? Like, yeah, I wanted to bring up your training partners because they're pretty fucking serious. And how do you survive that? You've got
No
like
problem.
strongest man, and
Yeah, mate. It's I really count that as a blessing, to be honest. With Loz, you know, he's best. I think he was fourth place at Worlds one year, and seeing him train in the gym in his prime was just incredible. I've again, like with Amp, seeing Amp at the breakfast bar, and on stage. One of my biggest memories when I first see Loz at the gym, deadlift like 420, 430, which is 10, 20 plates each side. And when it's like, when you see it online, that's one thing. But when it's at a gym with the bar and the plates that you use every day, you're like, that's fucking ridiculous. So, I see him overhead press like 200 kilo on an axle, just ferociously strong. And, he's retired now. And while he's always moaning about, I'm not as strong, he's still stronger than most people, even though he's retired.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just
And then
working out the
Rich,
10 plate deadlift. That's 924 pounds.
Fucking hell.
the Americans watch it.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was. That's why I was doing my
Rich is
American
just
accent.
Rich is just an absolute diehard. He obviously owns the gym as well, and he's just a real close friend and always been there from the very start. I suppose when I first walked into his gym, and he sort of got me into competing along with another good friend Darren, and he just absolutely loves. He is like diehard, hardcore. We came up to train at your gym, didn't we? A few about a
Yeah.
couple of years ago now. He just loved it. He wanted to go on the door and you had to pull over and all of it. He just loved
Oh,
it.
was that when I put you through legs because I was injured? Or was that the other time?
You're a baby. You didn't want to get involved.
I think I did I had an excuse that was actually not just having a massive vagina. I can't
Danny
remember.
actually told me that he faked that injury that day. That's
Oh,
honest.
fuck
We'll get
off.
that out online now. We'll tell the truth, Josh. You just said, "Oh, don't say anything," but Josh and the boys are coming in. I'm not in there today. I missed a meal yesterday, so just say that I'm injured and I don't have to get involved.
Fuck you, man.
No, I do catch you guys
We're getting on
online
football.
sometimes smashing out some T-bar rows and deads and barbell rows, which is rare nowadays. We could go into that podcast, couldn't we? Yeah, I do catch you because I always remember that you've got that like kind of wood chip in the background, haven't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, I do.
yeah.
I do like all that shit. It's like
What's it called again? What's the gym called?
Pro
Promote the
Strength
Gym.
and Fitness in Swindon.
Pro Strength and Fitness, Swindon. So if you're in the area,
Check it out,
Check
man. It
it
looks
out.
hardcore.
make sure you check it out. I remember seeing,
24-hour now as well.
is it? Fuck.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Rich at the PCA
Universe.
Universe. And I remember because he said to me, "Oh, if I'm not going to be the biggest, I'm going to be the most shredded." I remember seeing him in the little cage pit when they were propping up and just being like, "Just pose the legs for me a minute." And I was like,
Yeah, I was just going to say that he gets in real good nick, doesn't he?
"Oh,
Yeah, Rich loves to. He loves the suffering. Like when he's dieting, and you name a diet, mate, he's done it, tried it. In regards to like uh anabolic side of things, what's the extreme fat burner that just melts everything?
DMP."
Yeah, he wanted to try it out, wanted to find out. But yeah, the guy is an absolute knowledge base of all things bodybuilding, training, and just hardcore trainer.
Well, and it fucking shows. I remember
But
seeing his,
Josh, can he make cool reels though?
yeah, no,
He hates
This is
Instagram.
something. Yeah, I shouldn't say I hate Instagram, but like we were just chatting about before before we came on the camera about why you would choose a certain coach or whatever. And again, I know we bang on about the same shit, but this is what this channel's about, I guess, or part of what this channel's about. Like we were talking about these guys who were doing like rage bait videos, to get traction to the page, but like then you realize that they're absolute tools anyway, because they're obviously getting people negatively commenting on the page, so it gets pushed up the algorithm on Instagram. So why like this is what I was going to put on a post on Instagram, because again, myself and Dan and a few of the guys have all admitted that if you want to get rid of these guys, we've got to do our own content as well. Yeah, we love to train and stuff, but we have to play the game a little bit on the other aspect. And like, what does actually make somebody choose a coach these days? Like, is it because they've got lots of knowledge, like you said, Rich, or they've got lots of trophies, that they've had a lot of experience, they've got a certain physique, or they've had coaching experience, or is it because you're good on fucking CapCut? Basically, you're making some cool reels. Weird times we're in, isn't it? It's just weird times we're in.
Yeah, I've always felt like if you're good at marketing, you can sell yourself as a coach. You don't necessarily have to be a very good coach, but if you're good at marketing and you're good on Instagram, like you say, with creating content, now you'll still get found out eventually, of course. But like I completely agree, mate. We've still got to still try and push for what we believe in, us three. And I know the people out there that are still true believers in proper training, proper diet and nutrition, and just doing it the right way, the hard way, and not sort of taking now Ozempic and not having to do cardio and just it's frustrating, and I fully agree with you, mate, when I hear about these people that are getting into it, but everyone's on the same level playing field, isn't it? You just got to try and stick to what you know yourself.
Maybe someone can give me a comment in the comment section. So what we were talking about was these guys make these rage bait videos. They get traction to their channel or their page, but it's all kind of negativity. So yes, it's bringing people to the channel or page, whatever. So how does that transition into hiring them as a coach? Because surely you see them acting like a bell end and they're like 3 stone we're through. What would make somebody say, hey, you know what? I want to hire that guy. This is what I don't understand. I can understand like there is some Instagram pages where they'll set off as like a certain kind of genre or topic and they get a good chunk of followers and stuff. Then they switch over like posting OnlyFans links and stuff. I get that. I get that marketing. Then it brings eyes, and then they just open another channel, whatever. But yeah, I don't get how this guy, that is his page, and he's going to keep it like that, and he's doing all these weird videos and shit, and kind of taking the piss so he gets engagement. I don't get it. Maybe I'm just not a marketing genius. I don't know. How is that going to leverage clients in?
Well, I think that it's now that the fitness industry is mainstream level tactics. Like, who's the most famous singers in the world? They can't sing. Like, they can't sing. You're telling me Cardi B can sing? No. Like, that's not what it's about, is it? But the negativity thing is that we're also like presuming a level of knowledge. And that's another thing that annoys me the most about the gap in the market or the gap in the information of very, very advanced level information that's designed for people of a certain intellect being absorbed by people that have zero intellect. And that's what's kind of wrong with the system. There's a place for science. It's definitely useful for at least for consideration, but the people reading it, they don't fucking know. And so they see some guy and he's got loads of followers and people just go, that must be good. Because they don't fucking know. We're assuming a level of knowledge that isn't there. I really do think it's that. And actually, if you think about when you first started in 1920 or whatever, you didn't fucking know either. I don't know. But we gauged it based on like what someone looked like. And the world's changed. It doesn't work like that anymore.
No, but
Yeah, I
but
get
not
it.
in the
I
fitness
get it.
industry.
Sorry, Josh, go on, mate.
No, I was just going to say it's only in the fitness industry, it seems though, because
Yeah.
if you're looking for a financial advisor, but he's got no money in the bank, you go, well, you're not a very good financial advisor. If you're looking for, I don't know, a plumber, and you go around his house and he's got leaks everywhere, you go, "For you're a plumber, aren't you?" But in the fitness industry, and don't get me wrong, you do still have to have a knowledge base. But again, you would have thought. I love the saying that history leaves clues, and when guys like you say, massive, strong, let's see what they do. And like back training, it's always a big popular now. Heavy rows, heavy barbell rows, heavy deadlifts, and there are so many great backs. You've got all these machines which are great, and they're I've been on a lot of them. They are great, but I still love doing the basics, and I think that's what a lot of people miss now.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
where I
think
was
that.
going with it was when Dan said, like, obviously, like, yeah, you don't know any better. You see this guy's video, and you might know any better. And he might say, yeah, don't do barbell rows; they're bad for you. And somebody who's just starting out might think, oh, that's a good idea. But what I mean is, then you see like 300 comments below saying that's a load of shit. Like, so there's people like saying that it's rubbish, whatever, it's nonsense. So are they not reading
Yeah.
the comments? Are they just watching the video? Think, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe I really don't know. It's just weird,
I
weird to
think
me.
the
It's like you just
comment.
said there, Josh. I wouldn't ask somebody to teach me how to ride a skateboard if they've never rode a skateboard before. It's just fucking weird.
I think the comment section is now like a subgenre of entertainment. You like see
Yeah.
it be like here for the comments, like popcorn. Like people aren't even like it's because we're a little bit older. We don't. There's a whole like hierarchy of how people are using this for information. It's like, yeah, it's fucking. And that's not to say there are loads of brilliant coaches. There are loads, and some of them do look pretty shit.
Yeah.
Um, but at least they've got a portfolio, and I'm not
Name
saying.
names.
Uh,
Name names.
I'm gonna I'm gonna leave that one. I'm gonna side yeah, no. No, I was
Okay,
no.
we'll leave that one. They're generally too busy coaching people rather than doing like 1,000 reels a week. And don't get me wrong, there's some good coaches out there who do good reels every day. And again, you will go in the comments and you'll see positive, obviously a little bit of negativity, but generally positive stuff. So if these guys, these rage bait guys, are posting these videos, then all of it is fucking negative comments. I don't get how that leverages to get clients. I'm puzzled by it. But again, maybe that's why I'm not a trillionaire coach, and I don't know.
I did. There was one guy, and I forgot his name, and he came. And he was fucking so annoying and so ridiculous. I just shared him with people like this guy's actually a fucking dickhead, and then I realized later that actually like he was a genius and he was mocking everyone, and then he kind of managed to turn it round. So he was like, actually, it's just a joke, and actually, like he managed to pull it off. He managed to U-turn it into like, oh, I was like joking, and this is my persona. And he is actually quite a good natural bodybuilder. So I suppose it can work, but some people just want followers. This entire thing, but this new thing of like the fitness industry being the only place it happens, like there's pyramid selling. That's still a thing. Although you're not allowed to call it that because that's illegal. But like, do you remember when there was entire seminars of like how to become a millionaire, the 12 steps to being a millionaire? And they were like, well, who's the millionaire? Well, only the person who sold everyone the 12 steps to being a
Yeah.
millionaire is the only one. And now the market's so saturated. Now we've got people that are teaching other people how to be coaches because there's too many coaches, and that's what
That's the next level now, isn't it? Yeah, you're a coach of coaches. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's the sidestep. There's too many. And
The academy, coaching academy now.
yeah,
Yeah.
the academy. Fuck me.
Which again, that you got to give those sort of people their own credit because it's an open field. It's there's no legislation in the fitness industry to say you can't do these things, and it's all fair game that we can all do it. So you have to say, look, they're doing well for themselves, fair play. I suppose myself as well with social media. If I scroll and I see something that I disagree with and I don't like, I just choose to keep scrolling. I can't be bothered. No, it's not that I can't be bothered. In the gym, let's say, you see someone training, I'll give my opinion or I'll say something if it's asked for as such. I don't want to try and go around and be that know-it-all guy and be like, you're doing that wrong, you're doing that wrong. Whereas, I don't know, someone listening to this might say, well, that's where you're going wrong on social media. You should be interjecting, you should be offering your coaching to this person. But I've always sort of been if someone asks me my opinion, I'll then, tell them about this type of training or have you tried doing this? And I think that's just where other people might look at it differently online when it's sell, sell, sell all the
Yeah.
time with every post.
Yeah, they see, or they have business coaching, don't they? Turn everything into a lead. And people like do say like, "How did you get into coaching?" I was like, "Well, it was an accident. I got okay at bodybuilding, and other people went, oh, I'd quite like to do that." And initially, I just helped them for free because coaching didn't exist. And then it kind of happened accidentally. If I see someone in the gym and I look that they're struggling, like what, I'll go over and go, do would you mind if I gave you some advice?
Yeah.
Like, because I don't, like you said, you don't want to go and go like you're doing it wrong. And sometimes they'll be like, that would be really helpful. I have been struggling with this. And then you go like this and that. And as long as you ask first, I don't think it's like an issue.
As long as they're not doing anything like, to hurt themselves, obviously.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But
I mean,
honestly, it is a real tough one because obviously I had Max Muscle for like 17 years. I've been partners in Ultraflex now for 5 years in March with Ultraflex Gym Durham's 5th year in March. We'll have a big open day for that. Little shameless plug there. But yeah, it's a tough one because I'm the same as you, Josh. As long as somebody's not hurting themselves or they're not doing something silly or they're not bothering other members, I'll just kind of leave them alone because a lot of people don't want unsolicited advice. And some guy might only be doing quarter reps on a bench press because he's bad shoulder, or he might be doing something silly for his back because he can't do barbell rows or whatever. So I tend to just leave him alone. But just the other day, like there was a guy in the hardcore corner. We have the little hardcore corner in Durham. And he asked, could you show me how to use the pullover? Like, yeah, not a problem. Like, and he said, there's a few times I want to ask you something, but I didn't dare ask, which I kind of felt bad because I'm always around. There's only that 1 hour that I train that I kind of switch off a little bit. But yeah, it is a tough one because at the old gym we had a gentleman who would, give some advice. And one time we got an email complaining, saying, listen, I don't want advice from any other people and blah, blah, blah. Which, because it is a tough one, isn't it? Like, are you being helpful because you're not making yourself available? Are you you're not being healthy because you're not spreading your knowledge. It is a tough one, especially with the younger guys these days, because you don't know. Everybody's got earphones in. Do they want to be left alone? Do you want some advice? Do you just want to be left alone? It is a kind of fine line now, especially when the gyms are so busy and stuff. It's not like such a smaller community now, is it? The gyms are bigger now. There's more people getting in there. So I do find myself struggling at some points where should I go and say something to this guy because he's doing something really wrong, or does he not want my advice? Or not that I think I know it all, but we've all made gained lots of knowledge and made loads of mistakes over the years. You kind of pass it back, don't you? But, yeah.
Always just ask.
Got to make mistakes.
Always ask, and I'm always ready for them without being offended to say no thanks, and I go okay, cool. Like, it's like not a thing, but most of the time, I think it is actually on people who have offered it. It's actually easier from women because there's a slight less of an ego thing. Be like, oh, do you mind if I give you some advice or this or whatever? And
but
then
basically, you're a pervert, Don.
Yeah, so like they're like doing they're doing some shoulders, and I was like, have you considered doing that naked? And they're like, well, I was like, oh, it really helps.
Yeah, it's less restrictive.
Yeah, it really helps. Yeah, smell this rag, and much better.
I've got a great lateral raise machine in the back of my van if you want to check it out. Brand new, it hasn't even been released yet. Yeah, they say, I've said this a million times to Dan, the gym game is a little bit not weird now, it's just a lot different and a lot. Again, it's in the old days, if somebody came and gave you some advice, it was you were kind of grateful for it, weren't you?
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like, oh, fuck off, I don't want your advice. I saw Jim on Instagram doing it a different way.
I definitely leave the people alone, the younger crowd. Usually, if they're wearing Crocs or something, you know that whatever you say, it's not going to be taken well. So I just I usually leave those guys alone.
Hey, I'll say this now on our podcast. We do have some viewers from Autoflex because a couple of guys have pulled me aside and said they enjoy the podcast. I'm always available if you want some advice. Don't be scared to come and ask. There's only that 1 hour, 90 minutes I'm a little bit serious and maybe a little bit angry when I'm training, but other than that, I'm always around. So,
I mean,
I get that all the time. Similar myself, mate. Big ginger, flipping hairy guy. No, they think we're going to like shout at them if they come and ask you something, but I'd rather them, be doing it properly. But yeah, I get that a lot. That I think I look quite unapproachable. But yeah, I'm always more than happy if people want to talk about how to do things and show them. Even if I've been training, I personally haven't got any problem with spending a couple of minutes showing someone how to set up a bit of kit or how to do this, that, or the other if it's going to positively impact their training.
Yeah,
maybe back in my competitive days, I wouldn't maybe take a break out here. I'll show you afterwards. But now, obviously, my workouts are not that. I'm not in that zone anymore where I have to be hyper focused and everything. But
if I'm on prep, I'm generally not. But my headphones.
We're all very different on prep. Let's just put that out there and put that to bed.
My headphones will tell you this, and also I will be purposefully not looking, or
because your headphones are on your eyes.
Yeah. I tell you what, if you see me in the gym and my glasses are on, it's because I can't see you, and that's on purpose. I don't want to see you.
I always remember Lee Powell. I can't remember the exact phrase, but he owns the Seven Side Gym, and he used to put a sign up like, I'm 2 weeks out, fuck off, don't talk to me. It's like, at least he's being honest. It was something like very similar to that. Yeah. I always say to people like, if you meet your favorite bodybuilder at Expo, he's like 2 weeks out, and he might be a bit of a knobhead. Don't like judge him on that. Try and meet him at another time. Like, I'm not making any excuses for people, but because I have met a few people when they've been close to the contest and like complete tools, and then I've met them later on. They've been absolutely fine. So yeah, you're kind of a different person, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I'll always say it. Prep will show you like a whole nother side of yourself, a very driven, a very motivated side to yourself, and also an arsehole side to yourself, I'll be honest, in terms of shovel. It's I don't think people realize that when they think they're going to get into it, though, especially in today's world now. They don't realize what they're about to sacrifice and get themselves actually into.
Yeah.
It's a shock. It's a shock. I think they think that it's a lot easier than it is. I think it is. And And but also it's like taking some of the people to like not to mock them that I never like looked at really was to like gain knowledge was like Paul Dillay, fucking Flex Wheeler, um, like um, and probably
Sorry, Dylan. I was laughing there when you said Paul Delay. I didn't know
oh
he's French.
yeah, he's from France. That's what I heard.
Paul Delay, isn't it?
Um,
The huge shoulders.
yeah. Anyway, him, but like Phil Heath and probably Samson. Like I love that he's really good, but I know that what he's doing is not applicable to me. So I generally
Yeah.
like won't view it. Not because I don't think he's a great bodybuilder. They all clearly were, but I know that what they're doing isn't going to help me out. I'm, that's not what I'm looking at. But I think some of the kids they look at that and be like, oh no, that's why they're better. And it's
No,
like,
that's what
Yeah.
was beautiful about bodybuilding though, is you all found your way of doing it. And
yeah.
some people had to do stupid amount of cardio, some people had their way of training legs. And that's what, for me, as the passion of what I think of bodybuilding, it was your own endeavor to find your way of sculpting and building your physique with all the tools in the gym and with, the camaraderie of everyone else to build this physique that you were proud of by any means necessary and finding what worked for you. Whereas, like you say, Dan, it's people are looking at other people now thinking it has to be black or white, this way or that way, and there's nothing else in between.
Yeah, and then also it's different body parts. Like the
Yeah,
way I train my back is totally different to the way I train my legs. And like
100%.
like every body part and everyone's a different combination of all of these things. Um, unless you're Branch Warren, who was able to just go absolute balls on everything and it just grew. Like that would happen for me on back
Right for
and
him.
nothing else. Yeah, it's when people put the arguments in, it was like, yeah, but Ronnie did this. It's like, oh yeah, there's loads of Ronnie. You're definitely
Yeah.
Ronnie. You're definitely the next Ronnie, so you should do that.
Outlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like when you have about Paul Delay down the ring, his training was absolutely abysmal. Like literally like 10 kilo laterals and like shitty little light pull downs and stuff. Just an absolute genetic mutant, wasn't he?
And then Flex Wheeler just looked like he didn't want to be there ever.
But he even said that, didn't he? He said he hated training, didn't he? He said he just did it for the money type thing.
Imagine, imagine like you being that good that you could do it just for money. I wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, I've heard him of stories of him like getting ready to go out to the nightclub and going training first and then going out to the clubs and stuff. Imagine if he had the kind of mindset of a Dorian Yates or something. Well, even Dorian said that, didn't he? If Flex really had my mindset, he would kick my ass. So,
Yeah,
hey,
Yeah.
yeah. I
still,
think.
still an amazing bodybuilder though, regardless. So,
But then we talked about it like as well, like the journey is part of the fun, and if the journey is given to you, how do you then upscale your mentality? Like that's as hard as
yeah.
training your physique, surely. How do you train your mind when you got the first bit for free? Like that's a skill in itself, isn't it? So there's bits of all of it. The other thing I wrote down was just music. Like, does anyone have
Have
like
you got the song for us?
I'm gonna sing for you now. It's Seal. Actually, it wouldn't the Seal song about the the baby. That's a bit pedo,
Hold
isn't
on,
it?
Dan.
Kiss
Let
from a
me close
Rose.
my eyes. Do it again. I'll see what it actually says.
Baby, I can tell you from a fist from a rose.
I'm getting
Yeah, is it Kiss from a Rose?
I'm
Yeah,
Is that
getting
right?
dreadlocks.
Yeah,
yeah.
Getting
see?
dreadlocks. A coloured guy, dreadlocks.
Seal didn't have dreadlocks.
Yeah, he did. He had like weird
Let's
hair
see
and a
was
scar
bald.
on his face or something.
Oh, he definitely
Oh,
looked like
later he did. Earlier, I'm sure he had like some weird hair.
did he? He looked
Yeah, I
like he
think,
had
yeah,
been.
Amph is right. Amph is right.
Yeah,
He
I'm
was.
old as shit, man. I know older than you guys. I know all the old
Did
stuff.
he? Is he called Seal because he was attacked by a seal? Is that what happened?
I don't think so, Dan.
All right, okay. I'd always wondered that. Maybe that was what happened.
I do remember one of his songs, but I will not try and sing it. I've got a bad throat anyway. It'll sound even worse than
Well,
it would originally would.
usually it would have been.
Usually would have been a super melody, but I've got a bad throat, so I won't ballad it out.
Who's got
Jesus
the
Christ.
playlist? Who's got the playlist? Come on, what's going on?
Yeah, we got Team Nasty playlist, Dan. You should know this. Came out yesterday. The
I don't
legs.
fucking playlist. I was adding to that shit. I got that.
It's actually on Spotify.
Yeah, mate, I was there. They actually when we went to Hollingshead for the open day, they played it when we came in, didn't we?
Yeah, I'll tell you which other one I have got as well, which is a little bit weird. It's the Metroflex Arlington playlist, or one of them, and
Quite
it's
similar.
let's just say it's very diverse. It's got like some really like hardcore metal, and it'll have some fucking I like this. It's got the
Have you
Rocky
heard
anthem on there,
have you heard
obviously.
Jordans? You
Isn't
heard
it all like
JP's?
orchestral stuff? Is that even a
Isn't it
word?
like the Lion
Orchestral?
King?
Got like
Isn't it the Lion King?
yeah, like Beethoven and theatrical musical stuff.
Yeah, the
But
Lion.
you know, the guy deadlifts fucking an absolute ton, so again it works for him.
Oh yeah, I heard it's
Yeah.
like literally got like the circle of life like in it, which
Yeah.
is an emotion. Love that film. Did always love that. It's a great song, but I don't know if I could train to it. I'm actually banned from playing music at Trojan as
Right.
of as of today. There's been complaints, so
Really?
yeah, I'm not allowed to play music in Trojan anymore. So
You know what? This is something we discuss actually because it's a one we're having not an issue with Autoflex because so we've had some not complaints but like suggestions like I don't like this music, I don't like because everybody likes different music, don't they? So then we've had like, oh, it's too loud. But then I say if you go in the gym and the music's very low, it has a like very shitty atmosphere, which I won't mention in the gyms. Oh, it's too loud that I can't hear my own headphones, which I get, type of thing. So yeah, we're having a little bit of back and
I
forth. I mean, why have
I
you
bet
been banned, Dan?
they don't like rock music,
Yeah.
so they
What do they play at your gym, Josh? I'm assuming some like they're not playing the Lion King and stuff. That doesn't work
Nah,
outside the gym.
Rich is into his sort of heavy metal, and to be fair,
Yeah.
mate, this is why you got to love the guy. It's his gym. He does it and has it how he likes it, and you know he will do a lot for any of the members. Although where he's gone 24 hour, he's got like a 72 hour playlist himself. So he's put on all his stuff, and we were training the other day, right? Getting ready for a set of squats. Got to get in your mindset. Got to get ready. All of a sudden, Kung Fu Fighting. Come on.
Oh God. Funny enough, that
I
is
just
my
looked
favorite
I
leg
just
day
looked
song.
over.
It's not. It's not. By the way, it's not.
I just looked over at him and he just went running behind the reception and just changed it. I was like, right, back in the zone.
Welcome to the jungle. Yeah,
yeah.
that's the leg day, the one that comes out. Then I just change it when I'm finished because not many people like it. Unfortunately, generally I do wear headphones, but if I'm training with someone who's coming to visit or something, or if I'm training with Leroy, because there's no point wearing headphones with Leroy anyway, which I would not do out of utter respect anyway. But yeah, Leroy's getting through any noise cancelling earphones anyway.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Fuck 'em
only
all.
it's only on a Sunday that I would put my music on because there's a few of us trading otherwise on headphones, and then I kind of pick. But also I'm the kind of guy where I'll get a song and I'll play the same song every session for a whole week, and I'll play it on repeat.
Yeah, I did that for a
That's
year,
it.
Dan.
Just
I did that
the
for a whole
set song.
career.
Yeah, that's. Oh, what
Yeah,
was?
where you. I was going to say where you rewind it there because I am all the shit. Where you like, I've done that before. Where you kind of certain part of the song just gets your brain like enraged, and you kind of go back to it before the set, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, we are a bit weirdos, aren't we? Yeah.
yeah. I've played the same song for like a month. Definitely. I can't remember what the last one was. I think it was Bon Jovi, actually. It was Bon Jovi, but it was the live recorded Russian concert of Cowboy, or whatever it's called. It's a good song.
That's
Bon Jovi.
that's why you're banned from the fucking
And
music
that's
at
my
children's
band.
events.
I
Nobody
can
even
see
knows.
why it's banned now.
Yeah, it's the Russian Czechoslovakian remix of the Lion
John
King.
Bon Jovi.
No, it just was. It was his tour, his Russian tours. Totally. Yeah, but
Oh,
yeah.
okay, I got you.
Or gangster rap. I love their gangster rap.
See, that's very diverse. That's like the Metroflex playlist.
Yeah, yeah. I like but like, yeah, I have heard like a Spice Girls remix at Trojan and been like, what the fuck have we become?
Oh,
What have we become? Like the Spice
yeah.
Girls house remix, and it's like most of these people aren't really training, and this is actually ruining my training. And I feel like somehow I should pull rank somehow and just be like,
I was just going to say that, Dan. Haven't you been a children like forever? So you should have some kind of, I wouldn't want to say a priority, but yeah, like a little bit of
are you,
hierarchy system
are
there.
you, I used to carry some clout until we started doing high rocks and normal people started going there. But then when I first started going around there, it was a smaller gym round the corner. The only female member was Alice, and that was before I even knew her, just because she lived 2 doors down from it. And yeah, it was just a bit of a terrifying place, really. And those were the good times.
I was just gonna say when gyms were gyms.
Yeah, that was the good
You
times.
didn't dare walk in.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah. I remember going to LA gym when I was oh no, actually I was driving past because I was on community service. That's another story. And the LA gym sign was actually like had short circuited, it was on fire. Like bits of it were like
Proper gym. Proper gym.
falling off. And I was like, yeah, I need to go
Don't
there.
build gyms like that anymore.
Yeah, they don't make them like that anymore.
Talking of gyms, Amph, what was it like when you went to Metroflex?
Yeah, that
Well,
was awesome. I did say to Dan, like, there's obviously Temple Gym is one of the kind of places where it has that aura around it, and yeah, Metroflex definitely has that. Like, hey, as I was going to say, I hate to say that, but I'll be shocked to say it, possibly even more than Temple. It's just honestly, the gym was empty. I think there was one guy, and there was Brian and one guy. But like, you could hear the music like 10 minutes away because they had the shutters open. It was blasting hot, blasting music out the speakers and stuff, old school speakers, no kind of digital shit or whatever. It was awesome, man. Just again, just some form of energy in there. You can't really explain why it's there because the gym was empty. All the machines are old and shit. Like obviously Brian adds a lot of character to the place, but that was even before I even spoke to Brian and stuff. But yeah, it's definitely if you are a true like hardcore bodybuilding fan, I definitely say it's something you've got to go to that place. It is really awesome.
Me and Rich just spoke about trying to do like a
Yeah.
trip to go do that very thing. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely one for the bucket list. I was so gutted because obviously I trained back with James the first day, and we were planning on training legs at Destination Dallas for GASP. I was like, James, we got to go back there tomorrow. I probably would have trained all week, to be fair. As much as I love Destination Gym, that is a great gym in Texas as well. Just obviously a little bit different, you know, away from all the kind of spit and sawdust kind of days. Because Destination has some amazing equipment and a great atmosphere as well. Just different. You know, Metroflex is really small, which is it's a lot smaller than I expected from seeing Ronnie and stuff train. It looks like quite a big gym, but it's actually really small. You know, we did some deads on the platform that Ronnie used. We did that fucking like that seated row thing, like so heavy on it's unreal. You know, the Branch Warren row machine and stuff. Yeah, just an awesome kind of energy and like aura around the place. But Dev, you will love it, Josh. Honestly, you will love it. I think we should set up a trip out there. I can do car races or something when we go. Get a boys trip. No, I can train back reasonably hard now, so a few things here and there. But yeah, my arm's still fucked, unfortunately. But I definitely want to go back, 100%, because I didn't kind of finish the race, if you like.
you've been down, have you?
me, no. I didn't know.
No, he just keeps going off to Miami in the middle of heavy off season. Josh, never mind. Fucking part
No,
timer.
no. I'm not having this again. Like the
Come
check,
on.
like the fucking check-in thing. I know your game. I made it so that it's the end of the push, and you would have put me on some fucking wank deload. So I thought, well, I may as well do a deload in fucking Miami. So
Yeah, I'll just go to Miami and do champagne for a week.
do what?
Being serious, though, I'm just disappointed.
Do some fuck you.
Yeah. Told you Dorian Yates go on holiday for 90 years when he was in.
I did hear that. Yeah. Even in
Yeah.
his previous life, he didn't go on holiday just so that he could become. Um, yeah, I got some stick on the other video for that. It was like, oh, you're going on holiday in Miami. Like, how many weeks out are you? And I was like, well, I don't know. I'm not even on prep. And he
It's
was
not the
like,
point, Dan. It's not the point. You should be in the house
oh,
eating your
fuck.
meals. And that is it.
You're not allowed to
It's
enjoy your life, Dan. You're a bodybuilder. It's always
exactly.
about sacrifice.
What's wrong with you?
Mate, you know what happened? I'll stay here knowing that prep's around the corner. You put me on a deload, I won't do it, and then I'll just get ill.
Just tear your quad off.
Yeah,
Don't even.
that's what happens every fucking time.
Touch it as much of it as possible. Shit.
'Cause I tell like so I'm trying to do like what I'm told, but if I stay here and I'm put on a deload, I just won't do it. I won't. I can't.
Do you remember the first time I Trojans?
When what you came and trained legs?
The first time, yeah, and only time actually.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What? Yeah. When yeah. I didn't train, did I? Actually, I had another excuse that time.
God.
You did a bit, but it was actually me, Ellis, and you. And I was a few weeks out.
Oh
And
yeah,
first time I remember I'd been on a Cybex hack, and no, sorry, the Cybex leg press, and it
yeah.
felt amazing. And I just remember you putting more and more plates on. And I thought, what did you put on there? Like 400, 500,
Oh,
and
easy.
I've
It must
gone
have
down on this one rep. It just keeps going down. And like as a savior out of nowhere, to see Dan's big shoulder come in and just help push it back up so easily.
been.
That.
Yeah, I remember that. But that, oh yeah, because I was doing quads, but you had to do hams as well. That is what happened.
And then what did you make me do? What did you make me finish on?
Yeah, and then you were like, yeah, I'm done. I'm like, no, 100 kilo RDLs in one each in
Yeah. We
dumbbells.
go over to the dumbbells. We go, you could do some RDLs. So I'm thinking 50, 60 kilo RDLs, dumbbells. Dan just rolls over the hundreds. Like, oh, great.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah.
and then I was like, I did that set and I'm sat on the bench. I'm like, right, it's done. I survived. And he goes, let's go up and pose now then. Let's see what you look like.
Yeah, yeah,
Hamstring cramps. That's the
yeah,
Mark one leg press, isn't it? The
after
old one.
legs.
yeah. They might one.
Yeah, we still got that one. I still preserve that one from Max Muscle.
I mean, it is the best leg press. There's nothing.
It just feels great.
For me now, I do like the Arsenal because it's like 35-degree rather than 45 because I'm old and got shitty knees and stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah, you can't beat the Mark one Cybex hack and leg press. But I do prefer nowadays because I'm a bit older. The
I
Arsenal one.
I found the Arsenal one. The plate was too big and it just confused me. It looked like I was looking at my fucking house. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what was happening. Like, it just tripped me
But the
out.
feet low, Dan. The only kind of bad thing about it is because I am like a full range of motion guy, you can get real fucking deep on it. I think I'm going too deep because I hurt my rib one week and I'm getting some issues with my SI joint. I think it's purely because I'm coming like so deep on there. Well, I feel like I'm coming super deep. Then I watch a video and I'm like, yeah, these don't look so deep. But like
Well,
literally, if I came any deeper, I would have put a rib out.
it's the seat. You like the seat up a little bit,
Well,
don't
I'm
you?
only little dancey, so I've got to be able to get it out. I'm only
Yeah.
sure.
So like, I always have the seat back a bit because my hips are a bit shitter than
Mm.
well. Maybe it's being taller, but if I'm propped right forwards, I crack a fucking rib with my knees being high and my knee flexion isn't that bad. Here's a question actually relating to depth. And I know everyone's like, yeah, the stretch, go as deep as you can. Um, I always go as deep as I can until I hit, well, what posh people call passive resistance, where I lose tension and sit, like basically turn off. What's that? Like, do you get what I'm saying? That you hit a point of like depth where you like almost just sit into the passive stretch. Like, do you have a preference of that? Do you even think about it? I know like the powerlifters do it and they use the passive resistance because they get to the bottom, it's slow, and then they kind of use it to bounce. And actually, Tom Platz used to do that. I knew how his knees survived it. But do you have a cue for your depth for things like that?
To be fair, mate, it was one of the from again training me yourself. It was more so where your back starts to round.
Mm,
I think a lot of people will look at the leg press itself getting lower and getting closer to them, thinking
yeah,
that they're getting more depth, but they're actually putting themselves in a more of a vulnerable position
yeah,
and making sure that that back stays flat. And like you say, ankle flexibility, knee flexibility, like knee tracking is all going to play a part.
mm,
Um, like you say, if you can get to a depth point where your feet is still got relatively good flat contact on the pad,
mm.
mate, limb length's going to be different for all of us. It's hard to say what works. I mean, all three of us, if we go on a leg press, have all
Yeah,
probably got a different foot stance, width, and position, but
yeah,
it's where we would all feel it best.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
You're talking about when your glutes come out the seat, Josh, yeah?
yeah,
Yeah,
A little
the
bit. So which
pelvis,
is a
like,
funny one because when I'm on the hip press, my the Rogers straight one,
yeah,
when my glutes come up, I still really feel it on the quads. So it's kind of warranted if you like. So it is a weird one, like you say. Usually you
yeah.
will say once your glutes start rounding out of the seat, that's as far as you should come. But I still really feel it on the quads. So
I
again, everybody's different, aren't they? I am a short ass as well, so that's
and
probably a
and,
lot of it
and
to do
that
with it.
and that's interesting because on the hip press, the Rogers one, that's one where my pelvis doesn't move at all. And I remember because you were like,
Mm.
I'll go deeper, and I was grabbing the foot plate, trying to pull it because I actually can't go any deeper. I think
Hold on, Dan. Let's sort this out.
yeah,
Once
no,
and for all,
go on then.
you needed the seat more forward
How does that make any difference?
because it does. It gives you more range.
No, if the pad.
What I do, I
All
put it
right, so
all the way forward,
you've got the
then I
seat,
squash myself in.
you've got the seat. Bear in mind, it's on a lock, yeah. So it's not in
Yeah,
start position. It has a lock, yeah.
yeah,
So it has a lock. Yeah, it's not full range like the old ones. It only had the bottom, right? So it goes like that, and then you lock it like
yeah,
here. But
yeah.
if I go all the way down to the max I can go, how does just moving that change? It doesn't change it. What are you on
Yeah, but
about?
you still had some more there.
You're talking about the
I,
arc.
I, I, I thought what you were saying is I'm coming down as far as I can go because of how far this seat is. I thought if you come forward a little bit, you would have got another few inches.
Oh no, I could no, because I wasn't bottoming them. I didn't bottom the machine out. It was
Plus,
still.
Dan, I've always got to bust your ass anyway, so that's the rules.
Let's be honest. I was going to get given
Yeah,
shit at some point. There's
yeah.
that.
That's
There's that
I don't
one
know.
video I still. There's that one video that still haunts me to this day. And fuck Magic Eye for recording it and putting all the worst bits. There's just one video where it just come off lockdown, and you're like, "Do the '80s," and I hurt my shoulder. Then did the whole rest of it, and it's you just basically mugging me off for the whole 45 minutes, and and and, and I thought, oh, that's right, man. Like Jay will like make it look so I'm
I
not.
actually told him. I actually told him. Said, just can you edit that? But didn't you? I give him extra 200 quid to say? Cause I thought you were going to say a chip shop rep set.
So,
I
yeah,
thought
yeah,
that's
no,
what
and then
it was.
then it was the chip shop. Then it was you writing out my excuses. The whole video was Dan's a cunt.
Yeah.
I remember
I know
watching it.
we love each other really, but we got to wind each
I
other up a little
was
bit.
watching the video back and just being like, "Fuck all of you guys so much."
Oh fuck you!
And as well, mate, I had to have cortisol injections in my shoulders after that, and I couldn't fucking barbell press for about 8 months.
Yeah, it was worth it for the shit and giggles though.
It was good fun though. I enjoyed it. Chip shop
Yeah.
wraps.
So Josh, you've been quite quiet. Not that I'm a massive Instagram. I don't scroll much these days. I try and post as often as I can. But we said this yesterday, Dan. Sometimes I can be bothered to go there. Sometimes I don't. I do have to get a bit more consistent on there. But I haven't seen much from you on there, Josh. What's next for you? Are you got something planned for contest wise, or are you just going to keep getting massive, kicking Dan's ass?
I don't know, mate. I've sort of late. Um, I suppose until you got that real drive to want to put yourself through it again. Um, you know, life is life outside of the gym, and trying to keep that on the straight and narrow, and competing just doesn't seem a priority. If I'm honest, I'll always
Yeah.
train. I have to train. Never say never on the competing front. You know, me and Dan got to have our final dance and see what we can do.
That's what I was saying. It's one
But
each. So how old are you, Josh? Sorry if you don't mind me asking.
how old am I? 33, mate.
Yeah, shit, man. That's still peak. That's like peak years, that. Unless you start training when
I'm
you're
in my
5.
prime.
Yeah, it is. I think 30, 35 is like prime
35.
years. We won't even mention the 40 zone, which Stan is in there now.
I was still like rolling pretty deep at 35, and then stuff started getting a bit weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean,
It is weird, isn't it? Where, when you see it, everybody says, oh, when you get to 40. But I guess it depends. Like, you might start training when you were 25 or whatever, like someone like Samson. But Samson doesn't count in the. Let me get this right. Is it? You see it black now, don't you? Politically correct.
yeah,
The black gentlemen tend to, black don't crack and all that stuff, Dexter, all that kind of thing. They can kind of keep going. But I think even if you start later, there's something about that 40 zone. It's weird. And people used to say it to me, and I'm like, yeah, fuck off, whatever. But it is true. Once you hit the kind of 40 button, there's something, the body does change a little bit, unfortunately.
I think I've managed to scrape like a bit, but the
Nah,
progression,
you're still doing well, Dan. You're still doing well.
the progression is, but also it's like maybe the genetic end was coming anyway. So like how many years like are there? And I've always said
Yeah.
this about bodybuilding. By the time you realize you're not the genetic elite, you've already invested so much that you're in too deep. You're in too
Yeah.
deep. And even if when you were young, someone would said like you're probably not, you'd be like, well, fuck you anyway, wouldn't
Dan,
you?
I went backstage in my early 20s and saw Ronnie Coleman. Like,
I would
and I
I
was
would have
like, I thought I was doing okay. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I just felt like
just
going by a fishing rod. But again, I still loved it, so I still kept going. So I guess if you truly love it, you don't worry about the genetic thing, do you? But yeah,
I
33, still pretty young, Josh. Come on.
yeah, you got some. You got
Like
some.
I say, I'll have to train. I'll always my very first passion in life was when I first started going in the gym and finding that there was this thing that I could put as much time and effort into, and it was solely on me. It's not it's not a team sport. I played football when I was younger, but that wasn't as much of a passion as what when I got into gym training. And it was just like I can do this as much as I want to put myself through it, as much as I want to be regimented with the diet, as much as I can be committed to the cardio. It's all on me, and I love that.
And it's the purest thing. It's you do get out what you put in. There's no short unless you're the genetic elite, like you get out what you put in. It's a beacon, isn't it? It's like a standardization. I think it was Flex Lewis who just said £100 dumbbell will always be £100 dumbbell. And that sounds like it's so profound and so simple at the same time. It's like whatever's going on in your day, that's still gonna weigh £100.
That's what I mean. It like good days and bad days, and I'll be honest with you boys, a lot of bad days of late. The gym has still been the one thing that's got me through those times. Not to be too emotional about it, but yeah, when you feel like there's nothing else, you go to the gym and it doesn't solve your problem. But I know after I've trained, I certainly have picked myself up a little bit at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
The
that we just spoke about this earlier. I got some bad news yesterday, some sad news, and then the next thing I did is went and trained legs with my brother and my nephew. So yeah,
yeah.
the gym is that place for a lot of people, and that's why I'll always train. That's why I'll train at 10 o'clock tonight, and my physique won't like improve on what it ever was. Some people say, "Oh, I stopped training now because I can't improve anymore." I'll never look like I used to because I don't do those things what I used to do, type of thing. But I'll still always train, and maybe it's not the same poundages and stuff, but I'll always try to train hard because of the mental release, and like you just said there, it is a thing for so many people. Maybe not so much now because again, we're not going to go to the whole influence thing where they start the gym for a different reason. That's fine as long as you're going to the gym. But I think a lot of people do use the gym as a kind of
Yeah.
let off a bit of aggression and calm themselves down or
Well,
get rid
I
of a
said it
bit of
before.
sadness or whatever.
I think we did probably 150 hours of the Bash Bros podcast. Anyone who was a good bodybuilder had a reason outside of how they looked to go and do it.
Yeah, pretty
Like
much.
it's like yeah, it's one of those things. People have asked me like, what happens when you retire? It's a hobby. So when I stop my hobby, I'll train more. I'll train more. The only reason I train less is because that gave me the best results. But actually, I want to train more. But training more makes me worse. So that's the only reason I don't train more. So when I probably wouldn't power eat, and I wouldn't do the substances at the level that I'm doing. I'm probably going to end up having to do TRT for life. But yeah, I'd train more.
No, that's because that's just a means to an end, isn't it, Dan? You want this result. And I had that conversation out when I did the certification thing with Dorian. We had a German guy there who did the DY master trainer thing. And the German guy he was kind of complaining a little bit because Dorian put us through the session, whatever, and we had to learn how to support each other, all this stuff to pass the certification. And the workout lasted literally 45 minutes. And this guy was like, which I was surprised at because if you follow Dorian Yates and all that kind of stuff, he would have knew the deal type of thing. He's like, listen, like, what if I want to train longer or more days or whatever? I was like, well, Dorian said, like, what do you want? Do you want 10 pounds of tissue or do you want to go to the gym more? Like, you have to choose, which is kind of what you're doing now, Danny. You have to choose. Yeah, when you're 45 and you've retired and you've won the Olympia, Dan. Maybe not the Olympia, but you got some plenty in the tank, yeah. Yeah, you don't have to. I don't have to worry about that now. I don't have to worry if I miss a meal or if I have a not so great workout. I don't have to have an absolute meltdown because the reasons still the same, but the goal's just different now. Yeah, sorry, I got to be there.
No,
Yeah,
that wasn't off piste. Yeah, for
but
real.
just when you mentioned the TRT thing as well, Dan, we spoke about this earlier. This is because we all coach. This is a question for you guys, and I'll answer last. So I've got a gentleman. He might not be watching this, but if he is, you know who I'm talking about. I won't say his name. So he's starting some anabolics. he's a natural, so he's been natural for quite a few years, made some good progress, decent foundation. He has got some good potential as well. But like you, Dan, I said, have a long hard think about it. You're a grown man, it's your decision at the end of the day. If you want to do it, I'll try and guide you best I can. Do it safely and all that kind of stuff. He's had all his baseline blood work, etc. done. And he said, hey, what's the plan after we do this 10-week cycle? Then what happens? What do I do? So what's your advice on that? I mean, I have a few different opinions on regarding how old you are or how long you've been using stuff. Or you got a natural guy. He wants to do a cycle. Hey, what happens for the time when I come off? How long do I come off? What's the PCT protocol? Give me an answer, gents. I've just given you my £250 for coaching, or 500 now. That's standard on Instagram, isn't it?
Go on, Josh. You go first. Everyone's
Oh,
I'll give you mine if you want, but people have heard mine.
No. Personally, it's always been a get the most out of the least. So, if you've been doing nothing, it's whatever you add to it, you're going to get a response from it. Changes scenario. You get a headache, you take a paracetamol. You don't take 5. So
I do.
If he's being sensible, like you say, getting blood work done, and particularly with myself, because I do phlebotomy, I work with eval, and it is very interesting seeing what are people's first cycles, and in today's world, it's outrageous, if I'm honest, sometimes. So yeah, if he's doing 250, then you should be getting a great response from that. You could bump that to even 400.
Sorry, Josh. Where I'm going with it is we have his cycle planned out, which is very sensible. Yeah. It's very, very moderate, very low to moderate doses. What he's talking about is right. I do this 10-week cycle. What do I do when the 10-week cycle ends? So we have some old school kind of theories on back in the day we used to do time on, time off. Now people kind of bridge between cycles, all that kind of stuff. What's your kind of view on it?
Well, again, it has to resonate with what the goal is, I suppose. So if you're going to go into a prep now, well, there can be no sort of down period. You're into a prep, you're getting ready for show. You almost have to work back from what the end goal is, I suppose. So if you've done 10 weeks, I mean, normally, you should probably want to do the PCT and get blood testing and see where you're at. But I think there has to be a little bit more information in terms of what he wants as his goal. Yeah. If you're gonna just come off to go back on, would there really be then means of a PCT? Because if you do 3 months trying to just build back to normal range and then you just jump back on where your own stuff just plummets out again, you have to. But like you said, if you're going to do these things, you have to understand that. Yeah. I think a lot of guys think it's like a light switch. You stop one and the other one goes back on.
Yeah, it's about the bigger goal. Who the fuck's going to do one cycle and never do it again?
Yeah, I think we probably all said that.
That's the first thing, and then it's unless you're really going to take 6 months off in between cycles, which you're probably fucking not. The amount of time that it takes to even gauge whether you're capable of reproducing, age comes into it. Maybe, I think a lot of people are doing gear when they've got fucking nuts the size of boiled eggs. Maybe they could get away with recouping it faster. But ultimately, if you're doing the same time off as you're doing on, and you're going to repeat that, you're going to battle trying to get your test levels up. It's going to take you about 12 weeks, and then you might have a day where you've got your test level, and then you're going to go. Or you're going to, absolutely plummet your testosterone, lose some of the mass. You're going to feel fucking horrendous. You're probably not going to build it back up, and then you're going to destroy it again anyway. And the negative health impact of having low testosterone really does need to be weighed up against a chance of a very small window of being able to repeat, of getting back naturally, which you're probably not going to achieve in less than 6 months anyway. So yeah,
minimum as well.
yeah, exactly. Like, so I think like PCT is something to consider when you're pretty much done with it to see whether you're in with a chance. Once you've done as many cycles and also you're at an age where it's over like 40, like for me, for instance, the chances of me recouping natural testosterone levels in a male range are like almost zero, you know.
Yeah,
And that unfortunately is it. The chances are if you go down this, and it might not be physically addictive, but it's going to be mentally addictive for you. If you're serious about the gym and you dip in, you're gonna dip in again. You fucking are. Like, fair play if you can't handle it and you hate it. I suppose it's like anything. Oh, smoke a little bit of weed and you hate it. Then yeah, PCT, come off. It wasn't for you. Go about your normal life and you'll probably get it back and you get away with it. But most people that are going through from a competitive standpoint, weighing up the pros and cons, how many times a year are you going to be in with the chance of having normal physiological range without using steroids? Combination amounts is going to be like, you know, for, 2 months a year. It's
yeah,
just not worth it. Not worth it. And you're going to have plummeted testosterone levels for, for those 4 weeks of like 4 months. And there are health issues relating to both. But obviously, you don't get something for free. You cannot go and get something and do drugs and get the benefits of that without paying for it. That's just fucking life. There's nothing on planet Earth that comes for free. You know,
yeah,
I think my biggest annoyance going down this rabbit hole, you see the guys, they don't really train. They don't train legs. They can barely stick to a diet. They don't see any point in doing cardio. Um, but they're going to absolutely smash all of that side of things as much as they can. That's I think where a lot of people always talk about where is it on a priority scale.
yeah,
My own opinion is nutrition, training. Then you've even got things like sleep, recovery, hydration. And if you do all those things really well and you put in something, you could get a great response.
yeah.
But unfortunately, people miss out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and just go straight to 6.
Yeah,
yeah,
and that's the thing is that steroids do work, and you can mask a relatively shit version of everything else and still make some results. But if you're the sort of person that can't do the other stuff, you have no place doing steroids. Like you don't, like you said, it should be like the icing on the cake. If you can't nail absolutely everything, and we're not talking about for a couple of weeks, we're talking about for like a year or years and then sprinkle once you've absolutely nailed everything else, you're asking for trouble. And you know what the people are like, oh yeah, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm thinking about doing my first cycle. And you're like, oh, what is it? And it's fucking Tren 400 and test 9 million or something. It's the worst idea, that coming up
yeah.
and then a month later they've gone, I've got breasts. Can I take some letrozole to get rid of it? Well, no, because you've already got breasts, so you can have them cut out. And then yeah, and then you're in the cycle of mongery, aren't you?
God,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
that is one thing I would is yeah. I will cover my version of the PCT whatever time or thing, but that's one thing when you said there, Dan, because a friend of mine, I'll say a friend of mine, a friend of mine, when he took his first cycle, what I would always say to everybody is I always say to everybody the same thing. Always have at hand some tamoxifen, an EI, exemestane or something, just in case. I try not to tell people to take them from the outset because some people don't need them. Because we know the deal now that crushing your estrogen to zero is bad for us, which we didn't know like 20 years ago. But that's what happened. So, this guy got a sore nipple. He didn't have any tamoxifen. The guy said, hey, I'll have it next week. Oh, yeah, continue the cycle. I'll have it next week. End of the day, didn't get the tamoxifen in time. Went from a sore nipple to a little hard lump. And what they say, once it's there. But yeah, if you're going to do something, guys, get your cycle. This is just information purposes only. This is what we role play. We don't know the rules of YouTube. But make sure you have those like ancillaries there at hand in case you do need them, because he's Jeff, the guy who buy your stuff off, doesn't have any at the time when you need it.
yeah,
But the PCT thing, where I was going with the guy, and he said his name there, he is a young guy. So when I was younger, if I did a cycle, I would come off within 2-3 weeks, my natural test levels would kick back in I felt fine. You know, the day with the libido and all the energy and all the other stuff. We won't be rude, type of thing. And then as I progressed, down the years and stuff, that didn't happen. I would come off. When we used to do like time on, time off, that was the kind of thing back in the day, time on, time
I
off.
did
10
that
weeks
for
on,
years. Did that
you
for
had
years.
10 weeks off, whatever. And then it came to the point where I did have to do some PCT. So the HCG, at the time I tried Clomid, it was horrendous for our mental health. That stuff was awful.
Fucking
Yeah,
hell.
yeah. If
Josh,
you don't want
have
any
done
kids,
Clomid? Have you done Clomid,
it's fucking
Josh?
horrible.
I
He's
mean,
froze again.
Clomid, you ever done Clomid?
only again on a proper PCT, but not just willy nilly. No,
No, but on a PCT, I couldn't handle it. I fucking lost my shit.
Yeah, it's awful. It's made me very, very, very depressed. Anyway, I switched Clomid out for tamoxifen anyway. Kind of does the same job unless you want kids. But yeah, then my natural test levels would eventually bounce back from the PCT. Then I got to the point where I'm quite a few years down the line. I'm a little bit older. I would do a PCT. My natural test levels wouldn't bounce back. I had 8 months of being off, and my test level was 0.4. It was fucking horrendous. Like mental health couldn't get out of bed, zero energy, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's where I was going with it. Like in the earlier days, you could probably just come off with cold turkey. It'll come back. As you progress down the line, you might need to add some PCT. Eventually, that won't work. And I don't want to condone the use of testosterone year round, because I know guys like John Hodgson, he's 50s now. He's got a natural testosterone level that's pretty high, but it is rare, isn't it? It is very rare. But I've got a lot of respect for John. I don't want to kind of disagree with him. But for the most part, I know any guy in his 50s, he's been using anabolics quite heavily for years and years and years. Their testosterone level tends to not come back into normal range. And that was the conversation I had with Dodge years ago. Because I asked him the advice on this, listen, I've told the story briefly before. I met him in 97, 98. Sorry, 96, 97 when he retired. He was obviously a lot smaller. I said, hey, what did you used to do for PCT? Because I'm having this issue now where my testosterone levels just basically don't come back. And even back then, sure, Dorian doesn't mind me saying this. He's spoke about plenty of things online and all that kind of stuff. He used to bridge in between titles even back in the day before kind of everybody was doing it. Like everybody does it now, don't they? He's a very knowledgeable guy, Dorian. So yeah, he would cycle TRT, whatever you call it, or sports TRT in between. Because like you see, you could come off for a full year, get your HCP all fired up again, then you go back on, then you're back to square one. So that was kind of the example he made to me. Unless you come to the time where you decide that you're finished doing anabolics, trying to restore your axis is kind of fruitless. Yes, you've got to come off to let your red blood cells come down and your hematocrit and your liver values and all that kind of stuff, kidney function. But you're not going to restore that natural test level within 3, 4, 5 months, are you? Not at all. Or very rare anyway. As an older athlete,
I would also say this still comes under a genetic disposition as well, though. Like you said about John Hodgson, we talk about how people respond to training and how they respond to foods. How well your body utilizes these hormones is a genetic disposition. Would also be how well you clear them out and how well you reset and recover. Like your genetics covers far much more than just how well you can build muscle for bodybuilding.
Oh yeah, including tolerance for high doses.
Yeah.
So well, yeah. When I first started out, I used to feel fine. I tried a bit, probably a bit too much because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and I'd come off and I didn't feel any way, and I still managed to make gains in between those times because I probably started a bit early. I think I've been training. Yeah, I did my first show after training for 3 years, and I didn't really know what the fuck I was doing.
Dan, did you do the thing where when you came off cycle, because you were off, you thought you had to eat more and train harder? Which is obviously the total opposite you should really do now. When my guys come off, I'll see, right, which is still hard to do, but just, cut the sets down a little bit, maybe chop a day out of the week, maybe drop a meal out of your diet, and then just train I hate to say reps in reserve, but hey, train just short of 30. Don't go nuts. For the duration, you're kind of off type of thing. I used to I used to train even harder than even
more. And as well, I didn't want to lose any weight, so I just become a potato. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But when I see you train hard, obviously I was training hard as I could, but I'd set in. I was like, yeah, we need to do more because
yeah,
we're not on the assistance now.
more drop sets. I need more fatigue to make sure that nothing happens. You can get away with that in your 20s. You can get away.
Yeah, maybe.
You can get away with that. But ultimately, I always have that conversation as if someone's saying like, "Oh, I'm thinking of doing it." My first answer is don't.
Yeah.
It's just.
I have that same conversation with people thinking of competing. Though I actually try to talk people out of it if I can,
Mm,
just to see if they really want to. You know, sometimes if you try and talk someone out of it, they want to. Like it proves
yeah.
that they actually really want to do it. But yeah,
Well,
mate, it's
also now people are like, yeah, but how am I going to do it when I've got a job or whatever? So get a fucking grip. People are making cures for cancer, and you can't just like eat a little bit less food and have a job. Get a fucking life.
yeah.
Fuck me. Like, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it it is, and then as well you have the people can't even deal with the TRT now. They're like TRT 250. Well, did you do a blood test to see whether that is? Because that's probably too much. Well, no, it's 250, isn't it? And they're like, well, and I put in a bit of primo because for aromatase effect, and it's like, well, no, now you're doing 300 and 200. You're doing a cycle now. You're now doing just a smaller cycle, and then Blast and Cruise came in. So Blast became mental, and then Cruise was like a normal cycle.
normal.
Yeah,
But now
Yeah, it's
people just
sports
blast and
TRT
blast.
now, isn't it? Sports TRT, that's what it's called.
yeah,
I don't
fuck.
think many people do realize that like real TRT is. Like literally to
No,
like
they don't.
50,
In
100
terms
megs a
of
week roundabouts.
Mate,
in
I've
terms
seen some
Average.
people. I've seen some people blood test results. Um, say if they're doing testy, like maybe like 2 days after their last injection come through like in, and then I've seen people doing like 125 and it being through the roof, and then some people on like 100 or 50, and it's again goes back to what Josh is saying. Like everyone's TRT dose is different, and we've
Hence
got
why you should go and see Josh for your blood work.
to go see Josh at the blood work. It's going to be
go to eval. Go to eval mainly.
go to eval. Actually, Josh, you were talking about the Dave Crossland, and actually we're getting on a bit, so we'll probably go. Dave Crossland did an experiment with injections and
Timing in regards to when you then take a blood test, and I believe, I don't quote me on this. Dave had said that it does impact the reading in terms of peak protein spiking in terms of when the test is prescribed. I don't know the correct wording to say. Put in
yeah.
injection.
Which makes sense, obviously. I guess the way you would battle that is what a lot of people are pushing is inject as frequently as you can handle, basically. That would how you would balance it out the most, even if it's long acting esters. I remember when I started out at Testy once a week. I remember I started do
Can
once
you
a week.
remember whenever you used to front load? Can you remember that one?
Oh, the front loading. Fuck yeah, that was
Gram, first day, gram, get your levels right up there.
yeah.
All the old bro sciences were great though. It's like
Did you ever hear
where
the
you
one
put it
where you
will
used to
make
get
it
up
grow.
if you took 10 milligrams of D-ball as soon as you woke up, it didn't mess with your circadian rhythm and it didn't affect your axis. Can you remember that one? Or was that before your time, gents?
I've not
No,
heard.
fucking hell. I've heard it all.
Yeah, yeah, there's some weird ones over there. From the bodybuilding forums. Yeah, you guys probably would
Oh,
have on the forums.
here's one that I've found just from my own experiences. Um, if I were to do jabs, which obviously I don't because I'm natty, but doing them late at night fucks my sleep up. Anyone else experience? So I always
I
try
don't
and do,
know.
or I sweat more, or so I'm a morning guy. I mean, don't get me wrong, if I
What
want, which I'm not, but obviously
you
the
don't happen to be
fasting,
using you don't happen to be using test base by any
huh?
chance?
Huh?
You don't happen to be using test base by any chance?
Test suspension.
No.
1,000 milligrams of test suspension before bed.
I mean, don't get me wrong, like there's
With
nothing
some with some transdermal how to test them.
there's nothing I'd rather do
I don't know why
less
I'm not sleeping.
with my I mean there's many reasons why I didn't sleep. One of them's being shouted
Now,
trash.
let's turn that TV down. There's nothing to do with that grammar test I've had at midnight. Oh God, yeah, there's some crazy stuff over the years. I'll try and think of some for the next podcast.
Actually, because we've been on a long time, should we do the giveaway?
Yeah,
And
man. So
uh,
kindly last week, was it last week, Dan?
yeah,
Mr. Hollingshead did a giveaway for a get. I do have a Better Boys one down there as well. So we got a 250 GASP voucher from the guys at GASP, and we've also got a 250 BetterBodies voucher as well. So the task wasn't it, to give your best Trenbolone story in the comments, which unfortunately a lot of the guys either didn't listen or they didn't get the kind of gist of it. So because we didn't have a lot of trend comments, did we? But we did have a handful. So we asked Josh to pick 2 out. So could you give us the names,
We're
Josh?
going to go with Fraser McLean 8416.
Well,
okay.
I'll write that down
His
after we're
story
going to edit this.
he was clueless to trend, cough, and his missus didn't know either. He collapsed. It was the first time that he'd ever did it, and his missus called an ambulance, and he was trying to tell her not to while he was coughing.
It's fine.
That's
It's just a trend.
that's worth some free stuff.
Yeah.
Nearly dying,
And then he died. So enjoy
Sorry, I
that.
shouldn't laugh. I shouldn't laugh.
Hopefully,
I have to admit, I've never really experienced anything as to the degree that people are saying, myself personally.
well, next time you're down, I'll mainline it in one of your bags, and we'll get a cough out of you.
Definitely not.
Dan will give you a midnight shot with 2 grams of
I won't be able to sleep.
We'll both cuddle each other, sweating.
Dad, I can't sleep.
Don't worry, neither can I.
I've actually had it really bad from a Turkish shot of Primobolan one year, many years ago. I was actually lying at the door. I couldn't breathe. It was horrendous. That must have just been a general pulmonary embolism or whatever, just not related to training or whatever. But yeah, it is scary shit when it happens. When it happens badly, anyway. I've had the general tight throat, whatever. But yeah, I have had the proper.
I went through a phase of, if it's a muscle, I can do it, right? So I went and did the tricep, but up this way, and I must have just dumped it straight onto the nerve, and it felt like my whole hand was actually molding away acidically from the inside. And the pain was so amazing. I reckon if it had lasted about another 30 seconds, I would have tried to cut my own arm off. It was fucking wicked.
Please do not do that at home, guys. Dan is just doing that as experience.
No.
Don't say do it. Don't say do it. Say it. Please don't do it.
Do not do anything I say, ever. Have we got the
Josh? Yeah, we need one more, Josh.
Was there a map? What was the map one?
I think his name.
Oh, hybrid who he's got deleted because it was so bad. So I'm assuming it was bad.
Yeah, his got deleted, and yeah, I actually know him, so I'm I can see why that would have happened. So congratulations.
He probably didn't nail that. Yeah, it got deleted. It got deleted.
Yeah. And not. Did you delete it, Amp, or was it?
No, I actually, when he messaged me, he was like, "Hey, what's happening on the YouTube? Like, my comment's being deleted." I was like, "We don't delete them. Well, we can." But I even went on YouTube to see if we got notified that was something offensive, whatever. But I didn't find anything. But he said it definitely got deleted because he put another post up saying, "Hey, where's my post gone? It got deleted." So yeah, well done, Mr. Hybrid. You can have a voucher for that. Now you're banned off YouTube forever, unfortunately. So you probably won't see this.
He's not going to see a video yet.
He ain't going to see it. I'll keep the voucher and top of my GASP stuff.
Yeah,
but yeah, what I'll do, guys, I'll put some on Instagram story and I'll put some on the main page as well. And I'll obviously leave the usernames in this description below as well. So well done, guys, and thanks to the guys at BetterBodies and GASP and Mr. Hollingshead.
Yes,
who will be now? Is he like about 2.5 weeks out now? Yeah.
It was 3 weeks, so it's
shit,
less.
Even less than shit.
Yeah, it's less. It must be like 10 days, something like that. 11 days.
He sent me some update pictures maybe 2 days ago, and he's looking quite gnarly. One thing I did notice is his waist from the rear looks like non-existent. So that's what's he eating? Egg whites and prawns or something, or egg whites and fish, and potato.
What diet he's on, any?
Yeah, he cut all the chicken out and stuff, didn't he? He said he was having some digestive issues, and it seems to help big time with the waistline. So hey, I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to see what Mr. Hollingshead brings.
Well, I'm looking forward
Um,
to seeing that in my diet next week.
yeah, Danny, you get on that. You like a waist like Flex Wheeler.
Oh, mate, within a week.
Yeah.
Right now, I have a Niles Barkley waistline.
Hey, it's a bit like that. Obviously, it always comes down though. So Josh will know the deal there.
Oh God,
Hey.
off season, a lot of time for midsections.
Yeah, mate, fucking A. All right,
Right,
Josh,
gents. Thanks for your
very
time.
much
Thanks, Josh.
for coming on. It's always a pleasure to see you. And let me know if you're making anyone bleed down here again soon, and we'll try and actually get a session in.
Yeah, we'll have to do
Dan will
a.
make an
Wow.
excuse. Dan will make an excuse why he
Yeah,
can't train.
but I am away whatever day that is.
Hey,
Well, next time
Dan,
you next time you're going to
that would be
Durham.
a good one for you to get some footage because Dan, we keep pushing Dan. He's got to get some training footage and some Instagram stuff. So let
Yeah.
the £300 monsters engage and we can get some £600 footage.
All right.
If you're gonna do it, let me know. I'm always up for a travel. But yeah, we've got to come to Durham again.
Yeah, we should
Yeah,
do.
it takes 9 hours.
It does take 9 hours. Yeah.
I like to
Literally.
drive.
There you
All
go,
right,
Dan. You can go in the booth. You've got no excuse now.
mate. I'm there. I'm in the truck, mate. In the fucking. You still got the truck?
Nah, I got Audi now, mate.
Oh, fucking.
Automatic, easy driver.
I'm fucking. I'm fucking sorry, mate. Got the
I've
G.
got a tank. I've got a tank.
I got the tank, mate. I got a skateboard basically, so I'm rolling deep.
He
All
spent
right.
all his money on human control.
Yeah, I did. All right.
Right,
Peace.
thanks, Jez. See you later, guys. Good
Right,
night.
guys. All the best.
In a bit.